Yo. What's going on, man? Today is January the 29th, 2024. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn NBA show where I'm live on Twitter, also live on YouTube as well. Y'all know the vibes, man. It's Money Making Mondays. Hopefully we can get back on the right track after Friday was pretty bad to me, man. Pretty bad to me. Said I was going to take the weekend off on Twitter. I did find a play that I really liked on Saturday, though. We did cash we cashed fading the Dallas Mavericks after Luka went for a 73-point performance on Friday night in Atlanta. So made a little bit of it back, but overall not a profitable show on Friday. I gave out 4 plays to the YouTube members, and those 4 plays went 0-4, reverse sweep. I got smacked up, man. Books took my money, and I still trying to figure out how I'm gonna get it back, but. Big slate today. We'll lock in and talk about it. As always, do me a favor, hit the like button for me if you can. And let's get into it for today, man. Let's just jump right into it for today. Bunch of games. It's crazy because there's a couple of things I want to say before I get started. First thing is, it's crazy that we can have a slate with 14, I think it's 14 games today, and absolutely not love anything. I think that's so interesting to me. Like, I was looking at these games yesterday, man, I'm not sure. Then you got so many players on the injury report for today, the manipulation of the injury report. Also want to mention that this is I think I said this last week, but it's the grind. Like, for the players, this is the grind. It's grind mode. It's right. You got a couple weeks before the All-Star break where you actually get the only vacation that you get. And I think that, if you reflect back, if you've been sports gambling for a while, especially NBA sports betting, if you've been doing that for a while, you understand that these players are human too, and they take days off, and that's why you see certain things happen that aren't necessarily supposed to happen. I was reading a quote from Paulo Banchero before I was looking at the game yesterday when they played against the Phoenix Suns, and he kind of referenced it. He said, we understand that the season is a grind, but we gotta collectively come together, be better, communicating. And I lost on Friday, laying the 5 points with the Orlando Magic in that spot, but that quote kind of resonated with me because it made me think all right, cool. I got to sit back and kind of watch a little bit more than always play games. So just something that I'm gonna be doing personally, not playing, putting out as many plays. I mean, granted, I only put out 4 plays, not like I went 1-12, but I hate losing. I really hate losing. If you've been, watching and supporting the show for a while, you know that I absolutely hate giving out losers. I hate, losing money in general, because every play that I give you guys, I'm playing as well. So hit the like button for me if you can. Let's jump into the slate for today. I wanted to kind of get that out real quick. We got a lot of games to get to. I'm not going to go too deep into any of these games. I haven't even made a play yet, but there's a couple things that I'm looking at. Just kind of waiting for the injury report, and then I'll tell you guys, maybe what I'll end up playing. But I'll give you guys my thoughts on every single game. So let's get to it. First game up, we got the Clippers. They will be in Cleveland today, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. This line is it still? So actually, the line is not correct on the show. Let's see. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. The Cavs are actually +1.5. I saw this yesterday, and I said, man, I wonder how this is going to move. How this line is going to move. So you see some line movement throughout the day. The Clippers actually opened, as 2-point favorites when I saw it yesterday. Then the line moved to 1. Then it moves up to 3. Now you see the money coming back in on Cleveland in this spot. So we're looking at 2 of the hottest teams in the NBA. The Clippers are 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games. The Cavs, another really hot team, 9-1 straight up, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10. From let's see, hold on real quick. From a spot perspective, it is the 3rd game in 4 nights for the Clippers, who are coming off their beatdown of the Celtics. So it makes sense that a lot of money come in on the Clippers in this spot, but you see the buyback for in the Cavs line coming down. They also the LA Clippers are also on a 3rd game of a 7-game road trip. Zubac continues to be out for them on the Cavs side of things. This is the first game back home after a 4-game road trip. Neither of these teams have a look ahead spot at all. And from an injury perspective, one of the things that could throw off the synergy, at least in my estimation, is the I wouldn't say potential return, because it sounds like he's going to play. Evan Mobley, he's missed the last 22 games for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is expected to be back in this game. And I don't know if that's necessarily the greatest thing for them. We see, players who have big roles come back and kind of throw off the energy for other guys like a Dean Wade or, a Strus, or not so much Strus, but maybe even somebody like Gorgeous Niang, like guys like that who know what their role are. they'll have a smaller role with Evan Mobley coming back. And I know he's supposed to be on a minutes restriction, but I don't like that for the Cavs in this spot. I do want to kind of fade the Clippers. The Clippers are good, but if I'm looking at this game, I kind of want to fade the Clippers off the big win against the Boston Celtics, but I couldn't quite get there. As good as the Cavs have been, I think that like I said, Evan Mobley could throw it off a little bit. Rarely do road favorites win when they also won as a road dog in their previous game as well. So just some nuggets. No play for me on the game, but I do lean towards the under. These are two really stout defensive teams, top 5 over the last 5 games. And the unders for me, I started the season off playing a couple, and then I kind of went away from them just because I had lost a couple unders in a row. And I was like, man, I already know what it is. Like, players not, really ready to – they're not trying to lock up. You can't really trust these players to, play a lot of defense. And we would have cashed the under on Friday in the Charlotte and Houston game, but Charlotte decided to play no defense in that game. So Houston, who can't even score on the road, ends up with almost 130 points. So if I'm looking to play unders, I need slow pace. I need top 5 defensive teams. I need to know that both teams really care about the basketball game. Neither one of these teams have a game tomorrow. So I do think that, Coach Tyloo, Coach JB Bickerstaff, both of these guys kind of hang their head on the defensive end. I would look towards the under in this spot. It'd be under for me, and that would be the top play versus trying to pick a side. But if I had to make a play on the side, it would be Clippers. I would take the Clippers in this spot just because I think Evan Mobley could throw things off a little bit. I don't think that it will be easy at all, though. The Cavs have been balling. We've been making a lot of money with the Cavs. So those are my thoughts. It'd be Clippers on the money line. I stay away from the spread. And then I will also be playing the under. 225.5 is the current number. Let's go to the chat real quick and see what you guys are looking at in this one. And shout out to everybody for, popping up in the chat, man, before we get to the Knicks and the Hornets game. So what's up, Kenneth, Tasha, Jamie, Jay Gill, all the regulars, man. Ryan says he's headed to the Laker game. You like anything? We'll talk about that game, Ryan, but I actually, we need to get confirmation that, that Bron and AD gonna play. I know they questionable every single game, but they literally could not play this game. It makes sense for them to play this game because they do have a game tomorrow versus the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta. But you really need confirmation. They both got banged up and played almost 50 minutes in their last game. That was like a playoff game, a Game 7 type playoff game that they played against the Golden State Warriors on Saturday. So you would need confirmation that they're in. If they are in, I can't play the Lakers off a double overtime game. They're 0-2 straight up and against the spread, 2-0 to the under, I think, off an overtime game. That was something I looked into last night as well. So I don't have a play on that game, right? I don't want to take Houston. If Jabari Smith Jr. isn't playing, and I think he's already ruled out, I really think you need Jabari Smith Jr. a lot on that team. That's just my opinion. I haven't looked at the numbers from a cleaning the glass perspective, but those are my thoughts there. What's up, Lonnie? David? What's up, James? Jose? Will? Daniel? Daniel says, you seem scared to bet your leans, which are good. Never can pull the trigger. Yeah, I don't bet my leans, man. It's really rare that I'll ever bet a lean. It's just not something I'm not confident. I'm also like, I'm not putting like a couple dollars on these plays either. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like, I don't want to be like somebody that hits a bunch of parlays and, and I'm not disagreeing with people who bet that way. I'm just not that type of bettor. If I place a bet, I want to win it. I'm not like, like into the long shots and stuff. I'm trying to like double my money, minus 110s, minus 105s, that type of bet. And that's why I don't play leans, because I'm not like, if I lose, I'm taking a loss. It's never like small. So that's my only thing, Daniel. If I don't like it enough, I typically stay off of it. What's up, Tariq? He says he lost. He says I lost a little more than I should have on the Warriors at the double overtime. Need a definite bounce back. I can understand that. Raptors fan says not rocking the Laker gear today. He shot. Nah, I kept the Laker gear off, man, because we got a game tonight too. What's up, Prolific? Appreciate you for being here. Will says 8 out of the 10. He says 8 out of 12 games are East versus West. I really had to go through my notes capping today. Yeah, it's a big card, man. I'm not gonna spend too much time on the comments because we got so many games, but it is a big card. Young Harlow says, "Yo, my guy, hope you good after the weekend. Won't be able to stay for the whole stream, but appreciate the work that you do and everyone for dropping in. Everyone drop a like and sub. Yeah, appreciate you for shouting that out, Young Harlow. He says, make sure you guys like the video. It does help with the algorithm. So if you guys could drop a like, that'd be helpful. Hobby says, "What's up, Chris? Just got done working out, trying to get in shape just as much on the court as off." For the Cavs game, he has Jared Allen under 17.5 points. He says Mobley back and sell high on his points versus a good defense. I don't know, man. I couldn't talk you off, Hobby. I just think that they don't have Zubac down there, so you really relying a lot on Daniel Tice. And if you're cool with that, then that's fine. And you're right. Mobley could throw it off just a tad bit. We'll see. I might get there on the under for this game. It is one of my strongest looks for the day, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. Tariq says he likes the Cavs here. What's up, Malik? My guy. Clipper, Mr. Nice Guy says Clippers will take this game serious because Cavs have been hot. This game reminds me of the Clippers against the Pelicans. Clippers came in there and gave everyone a haircut. That's a fact. That's a fact. But I was listening to the post-game interviews, and Ty Lue was like, yeah, we kind of use this game as a barometer. He was talking about the Celtics game. He said we kind of use this game as a barometer, to kind of see where we were. And that, to me, that's scary to me because while I want to back the Clippers in this spot, and I think it's a game that they could win. You see Kawhi really turn up in these spots, especially in that Boston game, no matter if they was on the second leg of a back-to-back or not. Oh, so look. So LaMelo Ball just got ruled out. Bet the Clipper. I would take the team total under for the Charlotte Hornets. I think the number's like 107.5, 108.5. That's what I would play in that game, especially with LaMelo ruled out. Jump on the full game under. All that shit cash in this spot. But I would probably single it to Charlotte team total under. I know that total's about to drop now from 221, probably all the way down to like 219. We'll see how that goes though. What's up, Socks and Sneaks? Let's see. Jose says he likes the Clippers too, likes the Knicks and the Suns. Daniel says he needs Tari Eason in. Sam says great content and channel, very engaging and informative. Glad you put in a consistent effort. Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot, Sam. Appreciate you though. David says, can we get some wisdom? Share part of how you started sports betting. Maybe not today, but yeah, I mean, I can do that, David. I don't mind, man. I definitely don't mind. Tasha says, don't bet against Boston. Ari says, new week, new money. Absolutely. Game Day J says, and this is what I'm looking at right here. If you guys are members, we probably gonna cash some tickets today, but it probably gonna be live because I just need to see how these teams coming out, right? Like some things are due to regress, but I need to know. Sometimes you can kind of, when you put that bet in and you feel confident about it and you see that team that you bet on come out super flat and then it's too late for them to come back. Like that's the stuff that I absolutely hate when you did all the research and the play just don't plan out the way you thought it would. So if you get it live, you typically get better numbers. And this is the way I'm looking to bet today, big Game Day J. He says, big slate today, looking for the live betting spots. Absolutely. Miles Myers says, Jabari Smith Jr. not on the injury report, Chris. So if Jabari Smith Jr. is going to be in, which we haven't gotten to that game yet, so I was going to look at the injury report. He is off the injury report. I like Houston today. I do like Houston today, Miles. I'm glad you said that. I do like Houston today. I can't bet the Lakers off a double overtime game. I know they've looked a lot better. I can't bet the Lakers on today. It'd be Houston or nothing for me. I'm not betting against my Lakers though, because I do think we're better than Houston. But rest advantage versus two days of rest. I'm sorry, versus the double overtime games. The only way I'm looking. What's up, S. Dot? Sam says total rebound prop and spread props. It's always good brainstorming and properly managing a bankroll. That's a fact. Got to manage that bankroll. Daniel says he banned betting against the Celtics. L Boogie says thanks for doing this nightly. I remember the series of videos with bettors. Can you briefly share how you started with betting? Yeah, I can do all that, man. I see a lot of people want interest to know how I started betting. Yeah, I can let you guys know. I don't mind doing that. Maybe I'll do a video on it by itself. What's up to Tay Grizzly? Appreciate you for joining as a member. And Kyrie says, how do I become a member again? The link is in the description of the video, Kyrie. You just got to make sure that you click on the $5.99 membership to get access to all the plays. All right, enough time on that game. We got a lot more games to get into. We've only been through one. We've been on it for 15 minutes, trying to keep the show a little bit shorter today, especially with how many games we got. So next game up, this line is moving. It's up to 10 now. It's probably going to be 10.5, 11, honestly, without LaMelo being in there. So we got the Knicks. They will be the New York Knickerbockers on the road today, laying double digits now. 10.5 total coming down, like I said it would, to 220. Opened actually at like 223, 224. So the big news here is the absence of Julius Randle, of course, who has missed extended time who is going to miss extended time due to that shoulder injury that he sustained on Saturday. in the win over the Miami Heat. On the opposite side, LaMelo Ball is now out after he missed Saturday's game with an ankle injury as well. I really didn't think it mattered anyway. And that's what I had put in my write-up. I said, I don't think it matters based on the talent discrepancy. The Knicks have been elite defensively, and the Hornets offense, 25th over the last 5 games, is not elite. Per cleaning the glass in 329 possessions so far this season, so not too big of a sample. But in the 329 possessions for the Knicks without Randall, Mitchell Robinson, Quickly, and RJ on the floor, their defensive rating allows just 100 points per 100 possessions, and they're a plus 19.1 differential. On the opposite side, you look at the Hornets, who just traded away Terry Rozier. They're 0-4 straight up and against the spread in the month of January without Terry Rozier, losing by an average of 18 points. Those losses have come by 18, 7 to the Pistons, 34 to the Rockets, and 12 to the Jazz in the most recent games. The Hornets only average 106 points per game in those 4 games versus the Knicks, and the Knicks have actually, the Hornets have only averaged 106 points per game in those 4 games without Terry Rozier since he's been traded, and the Knicks have held 6 of their last 8 opponents under the 106 number. Also, I looked at road favorites laying 5 points or more off back-to-back double-digit home wins, facing an opponent that's coming off a loss. It's a pretty profitable trend dating back to 2008, about 65%. So the only play I could tell you guys to take, and I know the line is moving now, would be that Charlotte team total under that I talked to you guys about. And I would also be playing the Knicks. I think the Knicks cover whatever the number is, honestly. And honestly, I couldn't talk anybody off Knicks first quarter, first half either. I know it's no Julius Randle, but they go defense travels, right? That's how you win. And I think that's what happens in this game. I didn't bet any of it, but team total under would be the top look in this game. And I couldn't talk anybody off the spread either. Let's see what you guys are on here. Jake says Knicks first half. Yeah, I mean, they could get him out the way, man. So in that last game against the Charlotte Hornets scored like 120 something points on Saturday against the Utah Jazz, but the Jazz play fast, right? And the Jazz don't play defense, so it's totally separate style. You got a slow paced team. The Knicks also on the first leg of a back-to-back. So they got the Jazz tomorrow. So that's even more of a reason to kind of grind this game out. We'll see how it end up going, though. Raptors fan says, love the Hornets team total under for Charlotte. He said he's going to tell that. Mobley rolled in. Appreciate you, Coop, as always, and hope all is well with you, my brother. Jose says Charlotte team total under looks nice. I'm going with that. The Futon Bat says OKC money line, one of the best back-to-back teams in the NBA, and we'll get there as well. So let's keep going. Next game up, we got the Phoenix Suns, and let me just check, make sure the line hasn't moved. So it's still 3.5. I think so. I got 4. Let me change this real quick. So Suns are getting 3 points on the road. 3-point road dogs in this spot. Total opened at 229.5 up to 230. So not a lot of movement there, but just a little bit of movement on the total. So this is the game that I think I am going. Well, what I had wrote in my notes earlier, and I got to make sure I mention the Substack as well. I know a lot of people already subscribe to the Substack, but I'm about to start putting out like daily newsletters. So if you guys are interested in getting some of my early thoughts before the day, when I'm like going through my notes and handicapping the game, I write a lot of stuff down. So if you're interested in that, subscribe to the Substack. That description is also on my. The link to that is also in the description on the YouTube channel, and it's also in my link tree on my profile. So you guys will it'll send you an email directly, or if you got the Substack app, it'll send it directly to the app. But I wrote about this game a little bit earlier as well. Just some initial thoughts. So it looks like your Nurkic is a tossed up to play, and that's one of the reasons why I'm gonna pass on the game until I know the status of Jusuf Nurkic. He means so much to the Phoenix success. And it was one of the reasons I know. Shout out to my guy Malik. He was DMing me yesterday. He said, Chris, this line look a little short. You think the Suns going to beat the Orlando Magic? And I said, man, I don't know. First of all, it's Sunday. And second of all, without Nurkic, I can't play the Suns. The Suns, they do this thing where they start really hot, and then they kind of cool off. I watched it happen against the Indiana Pacers on Friday. They couldn't score in the fourth quarter. Yesterday, they literally could not score in the fourth quarter. Devin Booker comes out, drops 25, 30 points in the first quarter. He might have 40 at halftime. And then what happens in the fourth quarter when he goes to the bench and then comes back in after the other team goes on a run, they can't get the stop. So I think if you're betting Phoenix, you definitely want Nurkic in. Like if you want to take the +3, the +3. But the numbers that kind of back it up. So over, and this is cleaning the glass as well. One of the tools, one of the websites that I use across 2,000 possessions without Nurkic in this season, the Suns are minus 5.1 point differential, and they're allowing 119.9 points per 100 possessions. So nearly 120 points per 100 possessions. They're also in a pretty bad spot. This is the second leg of a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, all on the road as well. Not the ideal spot for them, although the Heat have also lost 6 in a row. They're just 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10. I'm not trying to catch that falling knife, but I will tell you guys, rested home favorites off 3 straight losses, which the Heat are off like 6 straight losses, I know, but rested home favorites off 3 straight losses in a revenge game, typically that's typically the spot. So no play for me, but I do think Miami wins the game. I do think that eventually they're gonna get over the hump. I think, Terry Rozier being acclimated in. I'm not betting against the Heat right now because I know they're gonna get it done sooner or later, and this is not the greatest spot for the Miami Heat here. I also lean towards the under. We know Miami's offense has been brutal. They can't score the ball. Phoenix been playing a little bit faster early, but then the pace slows down a lot for Phoenix. I don't know what the numbers are, but I can tell you guys, just by watching the game, while they're scoring and pushing the pace early, they're not scoring or pushing the pace in the second half of the game. So I lean towards the under. I think 229 and 230 points is a little too much with the way Miami has been playing recently. And I don't think Miami's going to necessarily be able to score the ball here either. So I lean towards the under. Also lean towards the Heat, but I'm not playing this game either. I'm not catching the falling knife with the Heat, but it's not the greatest spot for the Suns in this game either. And those are my thoughts here. Didn't look into any player props. Let's see what you guys are on here before we get back to it. Scotty says Josh Hart and Price is True over his rebounds in that last game. I can see that. Vaughn said he wanted to get there with Nick Richards' rebounds, but blowout potential for me. Dante DiVincenzo for his threes for Vaughn. He says up to 4, and that's it for him. What else? Smells like money in here. I hope so, Daniel. I hope it's a lot of. I hope I'm giving you guys some great looks. I hope the chat is also providing some great looks. Yeah, Futon, I'm with you, man. Suns not the youngest team. They're not young and spry anymore, and a lot of those role players are not playing well. Devin Booker, I know he just won Western Conference Player of the Week, but he's been shooting the ball so much. It's kind of hard to get everybody in sync when he shoots the ball so much. Other guys like Josh Okogie, Eric Gordon, those guys aren't stepping up and making plays. What else? LaMelo Ball just got ruled out. Saw that. And NLMB says fading the Suns here. Yeah, I don't think fading the Suns is a bad spot. I would be right there with you. Shadow says, would you play Bam points plus rebounds if Nurkic is out? I'm not sure. I'm staying off player props, Shadow, just because I can't play against Bam. Bam should cook in this spot, but they're still trying to get their offense acclimated with Terry Rozier being in there. You also got to remember Jaime Jaquez Jr. just came back from injury as well. I think this is only his second game back. That game against the Knicks the other day was the first game back. So not a player prop that especially not a game I'm looking for player props in, but I couldn't talk you off. Tariq says he likes the Heat, but it's hard to trust them. Had the Suns yesterday. Woo, boy. Shadow says he thinks KD line is too low at 23.5. Book Heater has to stop sometimes. Yeah, it will, but if you've been watching the Knicks, if you've been watching the Heat, they can't stop guards. Jalen Brunson just had a field day the other day. So I can see Devin Booker keeping it going. And I talked about this on the show on Friday. Looking at Devin Booker under his assist, the line's still like 7.5. That could potentially be the play in this game, even though guards typically been getting the assist. So it's really hard to kind of gauge who's going to be cooking and who's not going to be cooking. They don't really have a good matchup for either one of them. But like I said, I'm not playing the game. Let's see. What else? Estai says he's still on the protest. Bam should eat. Should. Yeah, I agree with that. JS says the under is hit in 8 of the Suns' last 8 road games. The Suns are going to run out of gas. I'll let you guys know that at some point, and it seems like it's happening already, especially against good defensive teams. Orlando can't score the ball. Orlando just lost to Memphis, and then they come home and they beat you. Like, if you can't, and that's what I see that's similar, right? Orlando's offense isn't the greatest, but if you can lock up, you can beat the Suns team. Defense, especially rest advantage, third game in 4 nights, not a spot for the Suns in here. Futon likes the Suns plus the 3 though. Let's see. Jose says you're right. Miami needs a win. I'm not messing with this one. Now with that info, yeah, I'll stay off of it, man. Hobby says What keeps you off playing the under and making it official, Chris? Sounds like everybody backs it from the way they've been playing. It's the NBA's just changed so much, Hobby. I just, bro, it's like if I cap or under, the game flies over. It doesn't mean it doesn't matter if I get CLV. It doesn't matter what happened. You just see a team come out there and just not care about the game. And like I said, when these teams are playing right now during this stretch, it's a brutal stretch because you literally just can't wait for 2 more weeks so you can get to the All-Star break. You can go on vacation, go to the All-Star game, get a break. And this stuff isn't talked about like on a lot of shows, right? Like this stuff is not talked about, but these players feel it. They're just like other humans. When you got 2 weeks before you go on vacation, you're more likely to let up a little bit at work too and not work as hard, not be as productive. And that's what we saw on Friday. We see all these players going out and getting 70 points, getting 60 points. Defense is giving up 125, 130, 140. The Atlanta Hawks gave up 125 points yesterday to a Toronto team that didn't have RJ Barrett, didn't have Emmanuel Quickly, and I like who they, like it's bananas, bro. It's bananas, man. It's bananas, bro. That's why, Hobby. So while I like these plays and some of them might cash, I can't quite get there all the time just because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, how much defense is really going to be played, man? Can I trust these teams to play defense in this spot? And it don't always happen that way. All right, let's keep going. Let's get back into it. I wanted to take a second to answer that real quick, though. Next game up, we got Pelicans and we got Celtics. So Pelicans and Celtics. Let me make sure the line hasn't moved. This line has moved. So now the Celtics are actually laying 9 points at home. And the total is up from 232.5, which is where it opened, all the way up to 236.5. And I kind of agree with the movement there. I'll be quick with this one. The Pelicans are a team that I really can't figure out right now. Like I'm not sure what's going on with them. They actually got smoked in their last couple games, and I should have just bet OKC on Friday, like I thought. Even though Zion got ruled out, they go to Milwaukee and get the doors blew off of them. Gave up 141 points, so it makes sense that the money's coming in on the over. I'll tell you guys this though, and this is the reason why I didn't bet the game. I'm not into taking Boston when they're playing against a team that can actually play defense. Now the Pelicans haven't been playing defense, but I'm not into taking Boston when they're playing against a team that can play defense and they don't have Porzingis. That's the reason why they got smoked in that last game. The Celtics are like the best good team. They're like the worst good team ever because all they want to do is shoot threes. And if they're going in, they score 150 points. If they're not going in, then they potentially can lose outright. And that's what we saw in that last game. They had like 12 points at the end of like 2 minutes left in the first quarter. That's because the Clippers are a really good 3-point defense. Now, this Pelicans defense, not so much, but the Pelicans are coming off back-to-back losses, and they are fully healthy. They have nobody on the injury report for today. So what I wrote in my notes was, how good are the Celtics without Porzingis? I know the Pelicans are a terrible road non-conference game. We've been talking about this on the show for a while. I don't think that they care about non-conference road games, right? When they play against the Bulls, we saw them lose against the Bulls. Like the Pelicans just smashed the Bulls. They lost to the Bulls outright earlier this season. And I need Porzingis in if I'm laying the 8. The Celtics also got a game against the Pacers coming up. And we know how that last game ended with Jaylen Brown, protesting for a foul call. Pelicans, their 3-point defense is just absolutely terrible. I think they're giving up like 14, 15 makes a game. So they could get the doors absolutely blown off of them in this spot. But I would need Porzingis in this game if I'm a later points with Boston. And I guess I would, kind of agree with the total going over. Pelicans, like I said, defensively, they've been trash. Last 5-6 games. I think looking at player props in this game, like a potential Derek White or Jason Tatum, maybe even Porzingis to stretch the floor, I think those props might be better than playing the side. Whenever you lay points with Boston, you always gonna lay a premium. Whenever you lay points with Boston, even if they're playing a team with a winning record, you typically, especially off a loss the way that they just played, you typically gotta, expect this team to win by double digits, and I can't quite get there, especially without Porzingis and Al Horford being rolled in. So those are my thoughts. If I had to play the game, I'd take the points with the Pelicans right now because I don't know the status of Porzingis, and then I would also be taking the. I'll probably still look towards the over, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do with the total. I'm not even gonna give you guys a look there. Mr. Nice Guy says Porzingis got rolled out. I did not see that. When did Porzingis get rolled out? Did that just happen? Let me just check real quick. Luke Cornett, Al Horford available to play. Porzingis ruled out. I'll be taking the points. I definitely be grabbing the points. Yeah, I have to be grabbing the points. The Pelicans should be able to cover without Porzingis. I looked it up. Like the Pelicans are a really good team with. I'm sorry, not the Pelicans. The Celtics are a really good team without Porzingis, but they're not a great team without Porzingis. They really need Porzingis for what he does. He does a lot. Euphoria said the Pelicans are ass. He does not like them in this spot. Cornette ruled out. Appreciate you for sharing that. Sharing that he was out because I did not see that just happened. Appreciate you, Mr. Nice Guy. Let's see what we got here. Call Me Aries says there's a lot of buzz on how long Ingram will be here since he hasn't been scoring and taking over. I see this is a bounce back spot for him. I could agree with that. Daniel says Celtics only scored less than 50 in the first half twice. The next game they scored 68 with no Porzingis and 69 at home. Pelicans opponents team totals have gone over 5 of the last 6. What are we doing here? It sounds like you're taking the over, Daniel. Maybe you stay off the side. Just take the Celtics team total to go over. Numbers should be what? They're laying 8 on a 236. That's 118 plus 4. Probably 122 and a half. Maybe you just take that number. Like you said, the Pelicans aren't stopping anybody. Could not talk you off. Euphoria said, I still lay the number, Chris. Not gonna lie. So he likes the Celtics in this spot. He said the Pelicans are pathetic right now. Could not talk you off. Player prop wise, I did have something written down. I think it was CJ McCollum to go under his assist just because he hasn't been handling the ball that much. Under 4.5 was plus 105, I think. CJ potential assists are actually down over the last couple games, and the Celtics they do a pretty good job of limiting ball handlers of getting big assist numbers. So from the point guard position specifically. So those are my thoughts. What's up to my guy Markel in the chat? What else we got? Raptors fan says whatever Derek White threes is at is what I'm taking, and I'll be willing to ladder them as well. That's the way I'll be looking in this spot as well, man. It should be a big game from Derek White. Shadow says I placed a bet with Brown, Tatum, Zion, and Ingram to all score 20 at 5-1. My money, Ingram seems like the only one sketchy. What do you think? Yeah, Ingram he's gonna have to score in this spot. So yeah, if he's locked in, man, he's a very difficult player to kind of handicap. But if he's locked in, Ingram should do it for sure. He definitely should do it. All right, let's keep going. We got a few more games. We got a lot of more games to get to. Next game up, let's go to Nets and the Jazz. So this is a toss-up game. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it, but I'll tell you guys one thing I looked at that kind of talked me off of the Jazz. So first of all, let's say this. I'm gonna just say this: the Jazz are the better team, in my opinion. If I'm playing the game, I like the Jazz, and I think I got to lay the point with the Jazz. However, because the Jazz are healthy, right? 7-3 last 10 games straight up, 8-2 against the number. The Brooklyn Nets are not good. This team is 3-7 in their last 10 games. 3-6-1 against the spread, but you see the number kind of teetering back and forth, and it's because the play style is just, they vary so much. The Jazz are a fast-paced team that plays no defense. I mean, this team, like I said, the Jazz gave up 122 points to a Charlotte team without Terry Rozier and without LaMelo Ball, and barely covered the 10. They only won the game by 12 in Charlotte the other day. You also don't get them in the greatest spot. This is the 5th game of a 6-game road trip and the first leg of a back-to-back. They actually got the Knicks tomorrow, so maybe they win today and get smoked tomorrow. They do have a lot more talent, in my opinion. And I know the big news is, what's the boy name? Ben Simmons actually coming back for this game. Could throw everything off of Brooklyn, could help. I'm not sure what it does. But I agree with the total going up. But getting back to the total did open, I think, at 233.5, and it's up to 236. Brooklyn just played a little bit too slow for me to get there on that. And three of their last games have actually went under as well. But those were against slow-paced teams. So I'm rambling at this point. But Brooklyn is not the greatest team. They do have more rest. This is also a 4th straight home game for them. So I'm not really big into, I think that eventually on these road trips, it catch up with you. And Utah right now 2-2 on the road trip. They beat Houston. I mean, they lost to Houston, lost to the Pelicans, beat the Wizards, and beat Charlotte. Brooklyn is one of the better defensive teams. They typically just can't score the ball, which is hence why they went under in all 3 of their last games. And from a injury report, Utah has nobody on the injury report again. So It's a difficult game, man. If I'm playing it, I am laying the point with the Jazz. Whatever the money line is probably what I would end up playing. Utah is I just don't like backing teams that don't play defense on the road. That's all. That's my whole thing, and the reason why I couldn't get there with this game. I know that the Nets suck. I've been watching their games, but couldn't quite get there. I know Dorian Finney-Smith is out as well, so some rotational things for Brooklyn could throw this game off just a tad bit. Just not a game that I'm super interested in playing, but I do like this game to watch. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Vaughn says, Nets and Jazz, I took the over 233 when it opened. You got a good number there, Vaughn. Hope you cash it. Euphoria said the Rockets blessed them with the +4. I was looking at the Rockets +4 as well, Euphoria. It's the only way I was going to play. I'm not laying 4 points with the Brooklyn Nets. I'll tell you that. So I was looking at that as well. I know that they got down big in that game. It was actually a trend to fade the team that blew a 20-point lead at halftime. Even though they end up winning the game. So it was a play on bad teams that end up having like a 20-point lead at halftime. You fade them in the next game. It was actually a pretty solid trend I was looking at earlier. I couldn't quite get there. Not a game that I said going to be on my card at all, but I do like, if I'm playing it, I'm playing the Jazz. Markel says he's on the Jazz money line as well. Coop says Ben Simmons 3.5 points is the actual line. That's insane. I'd be looking towards the over as well. Ben Simmons should be able to score against this Jazz team. I'll tell you that. But then again, the Jazz give up points from the perimeter, and the Brooklyn Nets shoot the 3-point ball pretty well. That's what they do best. Jazz don't give up a lot of points in the paint. Both of these teams are excellent rebounding teams as well, and both of these teams shoot threes pretty well, and both of them struggle to defend the three as well. So, I couldn't quite get there. Could not quite get there. Let's keep moving, man. A couple of these games we're gonna be talking about for just a quick second, and this is one of them. So next game up, we got the Wizards. They will be in San Antonio tonight, getting 3.5 points against the San Antonio Spurs. Line at 4 in some places as well. Total not really moved from the 241.5. This is a game that I'm not super interested in. But if I had a free play in this game, I'd be catching the points with the Wizards in this game. I know that's not the sexiest spot, but I watched that game against Detroit the other day, man, on Saturday when they had the matinee spot in Washington. They played well. I think I'm not first of all, let's say this. The Washington Wizards are a lot more profitable as road favorites, throughout the season. However, the Spurs are undefeated when they're actually home favorites this season as well. I think they've been home favorites like 3 times. And I'm not in a rush to lay points with the San Antonio Spurs. I know that they beat Portland. I know that they beat the Timberwolves as well. But the Portland win was a setup, right? Portland tanked that game away. They literally rested everybody in that spot. I can't remember who actually played for Portland, but I know all the starters were pretty much out. And then they did get a nice win. So this is 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights for this San Antonio team. They are, one of the younger teams in the league. But Washington, what I heard from Kyle Kuzma after that Detroit game, he said, first and foremost, he had to show out because Mama was there, so he didn't want to disappoint Mama. But he said, San Antonio, they beat us. He said this was a revenge game for me, talking about the Detroit game for us as a team. And they went out there and was, getting 3.5 points and won that game outright. And now they got a day of rest. They also the more rested team because they haven't been playing a lot of back-to-backs. So I lean Wizards. I'd be taking the points. They are I think 3rd or 4th most profitable team on the road so far this season, as dogs. And they don't play again until they get tomorrow off and don't play again until Wednesday. So I'd be taking the points, man. I feel like this game is a little bit of a coin flip. I also think something that's not being talked about, probably because they suck so bad, but something not being talked about is Marvin Bagley, who has actually looked really, really good for this team and brings in a second rebounder. The Wizards were really, really bad, and they still really, really bad. But they were so bad because they don't rebound the ball well. Now you get Marvin Bagley in there behind Daniel Gafford, and they still play hard. I think that they want to win the game because San Antonio did come into DC and beat them back on January 20th, beat them by 4, and they were actually the favorites in that game. They were laying 2. So I lean under in this game because both of these teams are playing a little bit better defense as of late. Washington's went under in 4 straight games. San Antonio has gone under in back-to-back games. So I lean under. I know that neither one of these teams are the greatest defensively, but I think the pace slows down a little bit. And I'd be taking the points with Washington in this spot. That would be how I'm playing the game. Let's see what you guys are on in this one. Back to the chat before we get to the next one. Euphoria said hard pass. Tactics said Detroit beating us was biggest thing of year, third win. Mobley is active as we kind of thought he would be. Tariq says the Wizards only win on the weekend. I took them live on Saturday +5. Yeah, and I'll say this about the Wizards as well. They have not won back-to-back games all season. I want to say they're 0-7 after a win because they only have 7 wins. I think 8 wins, something like that. 7 wins. I don't think they've won back-to-back games. Vaughn likes Wemby rebounds and assists over 15.5 for him. He says he's off the rest of the game. EQ says he's leaning Jordan Poole over 16.5 points. And then Hobby says maybe crazy, but half a unit on the Wizards spread and a quarter unit on the money line. There shouldn't be favorites by more than a pick 'em. Strictly value here. I'm with you, Hobby. That's the only way I would play it. Wizards plus the points for me. Only way I would play it. What's up to my guy Justin? Raptors fan says sneaky look, but I played was Kuzma double. Not the most favorite, but I think it has a shot. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. That's not a super interesting game at all. Let's go Lakers and Rockets. I already kind of talked about this one, but Spot Play says that you can't take the Lakers in this game. Like I said, and maybe I'm not telling you that you can't, but I can't take the Lakers in this game. This team is not profitable on the road. They're only 7-15, so that's about 33%. That's about 48% of games that they actually win on the road. You literally just need them to win on the road, but they're not covering spreads either. 9-13 against the spread, 5-5 ATS last 10. The Rockets haven't been necessarily the greatest team over their last 10 games either. A lot of those games were on the road where they were 3-7 straight up and against the spread. 15-8-1 though when they are at home, and you do get them with a little bit more rest in this spot. Both teams actually played on Saturday, but the Rockets game ended on time, and that was just a short two-game road trip for them. Whereas the Lakers, I mean, if you watch this game, it was a dogfight to the end. Steph hit a big shot. LeBron hit a big shot. D'Angelo Russell was hitting, big shots and big plays. I think it's a fade spot for the Lakers, man. It's the only way I would be able to play it, but you still don't know the status of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I love that you get Jabari Smith Jr. back if you do like Houston in this spot, but I kind of feel like it's a Rocket spot. And to me, in that last game, so if you remember back to earlier this season, when the Lakers first played the Rockets, we were on Houston. I remember being on Houston in that spot. I think we got them +5, +5.5. It closed at +6, and the Lakers only won that game by 1 point. So the Rockets were getting 6. Now, then the second time they played, the Lakers were actually that was the first time. The second time they played. The second time they played was in LA as well. The third time, this is the fourth final matchup. The third time, the most recent matchup, December 2nd, the Lakers were actually laying 4.5 points, and they won that game by 10. So the line should be stronger in favor of the Lakers, in my opinion, in this spot. So I think the bookmakers are telling you that it's a close game, and typically you want to take the home team in that spot. The Lakers, to me, feel like they should be laying 2.5, 3 points in this spot, but they're not. I think this line is pretty telling. I'll be only taking the Houston Rockets in this spot, even though the Lakers have been playing great. But you kind of want to fade AD and Bron off all of those minutes. They played huge minutes in that last game. So those are my thoughts in this one. D'Angelo Russell probably could still go, play pretty well. But those are my thoughts in this game. Let's see what you guys are looking at in this one. What do we got? Euphoria said he got the Cavs money line tonight in that game. Vaughn says I like the last week game schedule with like 4 to 6 games per day. The 12 game slate is a lot, and it's still a few games he didn't cap. Yeah, I'm with you there. Vaughn also likes Rob Maddox says the Lakers in a must-win spot. Vaughn says really like the Rockets in the first half tonight. Lakers may need a few more days to recover after they gave all they had on Saturday night. And I could kind of get behind this. I kind of agree with that. But I will say this, though. The Lakers don't got time to recover. They got a game in Atlanta tomorrow. So no break at all. What else we like? EQ says he's leaning Rockets money line. Call Me Aries says Grandpa Braun under his points, rebounds, and assists. I know he tired. Oh man, we got a minutes limit from Ben Simmons just came out. Let's get through the rest of the card, man. Hobby Noble says he took Sengun over 4.5 assists. I cannot talk you off of that. ZPLC reminding everybody to hit the like button, and that is appreciated if you guys can. Markel says, can I get the Lakers win and fade tomorrow? Whatever happens, Markel, you do the opposite tomorrow. So hopefully if you like the Lakers, they win tonight, and then you definitely, it's crazy to think if you got to fade them tomorrow versus Atlanta, but they should not win tomorrow versus Atlanta. We'll see how it goes though. ZPLC says 200 people, 68 likes. Let's see if we can improve that ratio a little bit. We need a higher conversion rate, like spread betting. We were trying to hit at a higher percentage. So let's see if we can get the likes up. Let's see. Will says you still haven't made money with Cam Whitmore yet. That 10 points been goal. Yeah, his usage is probably gonna go down now though. Will, just because Jabari Smith Jr. is back. We'll see how it goes though. Let's get back to the games. Next game up, we got Timberwolves and we got Thunder. So first thing that jumped out to me was the spot for OKC. So OKC did go to Detroit yesterday in their third straight road game. They lost the game outright, laying 12.5, lost the game by 16 points. So they'll probably, be fired up in this game. They also just beat Minnesota. That game was played, 9 days ago? Yeah, they beat them on the 20th in Minnesota, 102-97. But the Oklahoma City Thunder in a real bad travel spot. So a lot of the times you don't really want to bet on. I mean, not you do what you want to do, but when teams run out of gas and they're supposed to win the game, and then you realize they're in the fifth game in 7 nights, a lot of people don't understand it. They just like, why this team didn't win? They always win in this spot. And this is 2 teams today. And to put this in perspective for you guys, just real quick, it's only been about 11 times so far this season that a team has had to play a 5th game in 7 nights. Typically, you see a lot of teams play 5th game in 8 nights, but a lot of teams do not play 5th game in 7 nights. So the Oklahoma City are in a spot where it's 5th game in 7 nights for them. Not the greatest spot for them at all. Now, on the opposite side, and also first game back home off a 3-game road trip. On the opposite side, Minnesota, this team has actually looked pretty bad. They lost to OKC at the end of the week before. Then they lose to Charlotte outright when Cat tried to go for 60. They come back, they beat the Wizards by 11 without Mike Conley Jr. They win by 2 in Brooklyn, don't even cover the 4. And then they lose outright to San Antonio as well. Maybe they would look ahead to this spot as well. And I do kind of lean Timberwolves in this spot. But the problem is I need Mike Conley in. Mike Conley, I don't think has been clear for this game. I was going through and looking at some of the offensive, some of the off-on numbers for this Minnesota Timberwolves team. First of all, I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder can beat them without Mike Conley. With Mike Conley. But without Mike Conley, I definitely can't get that with the Timberwolves. So that to me, those factors make this game pretty unplayable. But I will tell you guys this. I'll be looking towards the under. It's a lot of strong numbers that I looked at for the under in this game. First of all, teams on the 5th game in 7 nights typically just run out of gas. And I think we kind of saw that last night. Like the Thunder couldn't score they went 25 points under their team total against the Detroit Pistons. Timberwolves also 2-1 to the under when they're facing an opponent that they've played they've lost to already this season in the subsequent game. And those games are staying under by about 17 points. So this total about 225.5. It's one of those if you know under type positions where this total when they played 9 days ago was 230.5, and that game went under. It went under by more than 30 points. And now you see the total drop 5 points. So the odds makers are telling you in that spot that the game's probably going to go under. So under, biggest spot for me. These teams are 7-3 to the under, in their last 10 matchups. And they've already played 3 times already this season. So typically that last game goes under as well because you've made all the adjustments you can. In those 3 games so far this season, 2 of them have actually gone to the under also. So those are my thoughts here. Let's see what you guys are thinking about this one. Mace, you got to go back, my guy. I can't jump all the way back. I talked about the Clippers money line already, and if I had to play the game, that's what I would play, Clippers money line. But the complete breakdown is at the beginning of the show. Let's see. Euphoria says he likes OKC. Justin, Timberwolves plus 2.5. I think Timberwolves plus 2.5 is sharp, but I definitely need Mike Conley in there. You got the revenge narrative. You got the rest advantage. You got the size advantage. You just need the Timberwolves to come in there and play like they got some sense, man, because they haven't been doing that. Don't put you in the spot to make you want to back them necessarily how either one of them been playing. Zach Collins just got ruled out for San Antonio. All right, let's see. Smokey Bet says both teams off awful losses, but I think the Wolves finally close out a fourth quarter and win this one. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Justin says he likes the Rockets. He got him on the money line at minus 105. Markel says he's on the Timberwolves money line, and he likes the alt Timberwolves -3. Below Christ says, wasn't OKC just in this spot and beat them last time? They were. This is the spot is different. The matchup is the same, Below. The spot is different, though. In that game, you know, they were in Minnesota, which Minnesota definitely plays better at home. But this wasn't a fifth game in 7 nights, and it wasn't a second leg of a back-to-back, I don't think, for them. So I think that was a little bit different. But, yeah, you're right. These two teams just played on the 20th. Let's see. What else? EQ says under would be the top play. Just to keep it honest with you guys, under would be the top play. Under 224.5. These teams just played and didn't even get to 200 points. Daniel says teams playing their last road game of a 4-game road trip as a dog are 9-16 under versus conference opponents. The under is hit the last 12 in a row by an average of 17 points. This is really good stuff, Daniel. Appreciate you for sharing that, my brother. J.S. Brown on the opposite side, he does OKC -2.5 for him, 7-0 at home last 7. Okay. Hobby Noble likes the under. He says he had him +3.5 versus Detroit, and man, oh man, just take the under there. I can see it. SK says the Timberwolves are pretenders. Fourth quarter, they fold. So maybe Timberwolves early, if that's how you feel, or maybe you just ride with OKC. Let's see. Call Me Aries says Ants points over. He's been waiting for this game. Okay. I didn't really look into Ant. I will say the OKC. I can make points for both, so I won't even say anything. Malik says you like Ant assists if Conley doesn't play. Maybe slow-mo PRA. Who gets Conley minutes? Yeah, it'll be slow-mo. He'll get the minutes, but not necessarily always get the playmaking opportunities. It will increase, but Anthony Edwards has the ball in his hands a little too much for my liking when Conley doesn't play. And I couldn't play. I could not play Minnesota in this spot without Mike Conley. That's just my thought process, though. Jose says Wolves team total under. I think the full game goes under. Probably going to end up playing it. Just being transparent with you guys. Haven't put it in yet, but probably going to end up playing that. Let's keep moving. A game I'm going to spend about 45 seconds on. Kings and Grizzlies. This game will be played in Memphis, and this line has moved, right? Yeah, it's up to 9 and it's actually up to 10. You guys see 8. It's moved throughout the day. Grizzlies actually getting 10 points at home, and this is the second leg of a back-to-back. They did go to Indiana yesterday and cover, but didn't win. And I was getting kind of worried, man. I thought the Grizzlies was going to the NBA Finals. I mean, I tried to fade them on Friday. They won the game outright against Orlando, so I'm not sure what's in the water there, what's in the air going on in Memphis. But this team fights hard. They fight hard. They fighting to the end. They covered the game last night, and now. Let's see, Memphis. And this is the spot you typically want to fade them in when they're at home. They're 6-14 against the spread. The Kings, when you want to play on them, you typically want to do it on the road where they're 14-7. So these trends kind of conflict. They align together, but I mean, can you really trust Sacramento? I can't trust Sacramento. The Kings are 0-10 against the spread. Shout out to SBB. The Kings are 0-10 against the spread when they're laying 5 points or more versus an unrested opponent. That absolutely makes no sense that you can't take advantage of unrested opponents when you're laying 5 points and you're supposed to 5 points or more, you're supposed to win those games, but they haven't won in 10 straight times. They have not covered the spread. So Kings should win this game by 15, 20 points. Grizzlies always go down with a fight. I'm off the game. Best of luck if you guys are playing it. Memphis got a bunch of players that popped up on the injury report. If I told you all of them, the show would last until tomorrow. So I won't even go through them, but just know the starters aren't playing, and the bench isn't playing either. They got other guys that'll be playing, probably from out the stands. I'm not sure what they're going to do. I think they got like 7 active players in all honesty, though. Let's get back to the chat real quick, and then we'll get through the last couple games. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Smoky Steam Best says not a great spot for the Grizzlies, but they're young and scrappy. Kings can't be laying this much, and I would agree. We've been making money. Kings have paid us well last couple games, man. We won with the Kings on Thursday when they beat the Golden State Warriors, and then we also won with the Kings on Saturday when we faded Luka off the 73, 72, how many points he had. But I can't lay that with the Kings. I like the Kings in short spreads, not when they got to win by margin. THJ says he likes the Kings to cover. Kings talk about closing this road trip strong. I didn't see that, TJ. But if they did, play it, man. Play it. Don't let me talk you off of it at all. I'm not playing this game. One thing I want to mention really quickly just kind of came to me based on the comments. So if you think that the Kings win the game, but they don't cover the spread, then that means Sabonis is going to have to play his full allotment of minutes. And if that's the case, he should absolutely eat against these guys. So maybe looking at some Sabonis props. That's the only way I would be looking in this game. Also, you got to remember, not only, and this is, bitten me a couple times, not necessarily this year a lot, but in the past, when these teams, you got Sacramento coming off wins against Dallas, they just beat Steph, they just beat Luka. And now you got to come play against this version of a Memphis Grizzlies team. It's a very, very flat spot. We've seen the Clippers go into Memphis and not cover the spread. We've seen Clippers go into Memphis and not, be able to stop this Memphis Grizzlies team from playing. So it's really hard to get up from a motivational perspective when you're playing against G League players. But GG Jackson points, that would be something that I would be looking at today, especially if they only got 7 players. He could absolutely go crazy in this spot. If you know GG Jackson, then you know. Let's see what else we like here. Will Jackson says he's going back to Rudy Gobert over his 13.5 boards. He had 18 the last time they played, and they lack size. Duran just had 20. Yeah, shout out to Duran, man. Duran had 20 and 20 yesterday. He's a man amongst boys for sure. Shout out to Jalen Duran. Let's see. Vaughn like a little Knicks, Kings, Celtics money line parlay at plus 120. Yeah, best of luck, Vaughn. That's shit cash, but we've seen crazier things happen. Shout out to Black Brooks for becoming a member. I appreciate you for joining, Black Brooks. And last comment real quick before we get back to the games. Bryce says Grizzlies signed a dude named Hurt to a 10-day contract today. Laugh out loud, ironic. Hey, bro, that can't be true. That's probably made up, Bryce. You got to be lying, bro. I also saw that the just real quick on the Grizzlies, I saw that they had signed Kent Bazemore to their G League team. I said, man, it's all bad in Memphis right now. It's really bad in Memphis, man. I don't think I've ever seen a team that's hurt before the All-Star break. Typically, stuff like that happen after the All-Star break. I've never seen this happen before the All-Star break. They literally got about 47 injuries on a 13-man rotation. All right, let's keep going. Next game up, we got Magic and we got Mavs. So the Magic are second leg of a back-to-back. Of course, they won yesterday as home dogs against the Phoenix Suns, and they kind of played yesterday like I thought they would on Friday. When I put my hard-earned money on them to beat the Memphis Grizzlies, and they couldn't, but then they come back and they, smoked the Phoenix Suns, beat them by margin in that game. Just the way the NBA goes, man. It's why I'm kind of laying low. This team has not been good recently, just 3-7 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. They are a young team. They typically play pretty well on second leg of back-to-backs, if I'm not mistaken. And the Dallas Mavericks, not a team you necessarily want to, lay a lot of points with. They're just 13-12. Straight up at home, 11-14 against the numbers, so they haven't really been covering. And 4-6 in their last 10, straight up and against the spread. A lot of it, I think, has to do with lineup changes. You got guys coming in, guys coming out. This team has been bad, man. 4 of their last 5 games they've lost and only covered. The only game they actually covered against was the Atlanta Hawks. And we talked about Atlanta on Friday, and I didn't even play them. But, I'm sorry, we talked about Dallas in that spot. I didn't even play them in that spot. But outside of that, losses to the Lakers, to the Celtics, to Phoenix, to the Kings. And Orlando's a young, scrappy team. The angle that I looked at in this game, and I'm not going to play the game, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys the notes. It will only be towards Dallas, right? I think from a spot perspective, take the names off the jersey, you got to fade the unrested road dogs off a previous home win as a dog, right? So stay with me. Orlando won yesterday as a home dog. They're unrested, had to get on a flight and then fly to Dallas. They already lost to Dallas earlier this season as well. That's not a spot you want to play on. Those teams are 3-23 since the 3-23 straight up since the 2021 season. And you just really kind of need them to win the game with the spread being 4. Also, just 8-18 against the spread. So that 70% says that you fade the Orlando Magic in this back-to-back spot. The problem is, Dallas still got a slew of injuries. I don't like playing them without Kyrie. I think they need somebody else to be able to score the ball. But they are the right spot in this game. You also got Derrick Jones Jr. listed as questionable with a wrist injury, and Dante Exum. I'm not sure if he got ruled in, if either one of those guys got ruled in or ruled out yet. So, I'd only be able to lay the points with Dallas. Now, conversely, the reason why I couldn't lay the points with Dallas is because the spot I just told you guys about, the unrested road dog spot, Dallas is 0-4 against the spread when their opponent is on the second leg of a back-to-back. So the more rested their opponent, the better they play. The less rested, the worse they play. And that's just how some teams work. It doesn't make any sense in the world. It makes absolutely no sense in the world, but that's just the spot. And that's why I couldn't play it, because the Mavs should step up in this spot, but they haven't been doing so this season. So those are my thoughts on the game. I stay completely off of it. Let's see what you guys are saying here. Jamie says, I do like Dallas to cover today. Orlando can't score. They hit my pockets last week too. They definitely hit my pockets too. Euphoria likes Luka over his 37. Smokey Steam Best says Mavs had their letdown game after that Hawks win. He likes them here. Yeah, still the only way I could look. If I had to, a free bet, it would be on Dallas -4. Absolutely. Vaughn says Magic and Mavs didn't cap. Orlando has been playing amazing on defense. Stay away spot, much better spot on the board. Much better spots on the board. So Daniel, he got a query right here for us. He says home favorites that were previously at home, so second straight home game, and they have more rest than their opponent. He says they're 53-15 on the money line. If it's versus a non-conference opponent, the money line is 24-3. The away team is unrested. They lose the first quarter by average of 5 points. I think Dallas smashes early. If not, a live money line. This makes a lot of sense to me, Daniel. It's the only way I would look, even though Dallas is sucked in this spot. That, like I said, sometimes the team just got your number, and Dallas did beat Orlando pretty bad earlier this season. They smoked Orlando in Orlando. So, it could be a nice bounce back spot for them for sure. Euphoria says, I want to take Dallas against the spread, but do they do well against teams built like Orlando? I'm not sure, Euphoria. I'm not touching it, man. But it'd be Magic or not. It'd be Mavs or nothing for me. Bryce confirming that Matt Hurt was signed to a 10-day contract with the Grizzlies and he'll be available to play on Monday. That's insane to me, bro. That's insane to me, man. Oh man, that's funny. All right, let's keep going. We got a couple more games to get to. Next game up, we got Bucks and we got Nuggets. The Nuggets are laying 4 points. This line actually down to 3.5 at some spots as well. It's home favors against Milwaukee. Total come down from 241 down to 238.5. And I think I agree with the movement coming down. The Bucks have been playing super fast. The Denver Nuggets are the slowest paced team in the league, of course. I think this is going to be the first game for Doc Rivers as well on the sideline with the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks are coming off a game where they, first of all, on Friday they got smoked. So this is the third leg of a back-to-back. We got to make sure we mention that. They got smoked on Friday to the Cleveland Cavaliers, as we kind of anticipated. On Saturday, they absolutely destroyed the Milwaukee, not the New Orleans Pelicans, beat them 141-117, I think. Now you get them on the road in this spot. I think Dallas takes this game serious. Denver. I think Denver takes this game serious. Denver has not been the best ATS team at home, though. Like last year, they were, kind of a team you just lay the points with. You almost could blindly bet Denver at the crib. Their bench depth is not as great as it used to be. I keep going back to that. And overall, they literally haven't been covering these numbers. Just 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10. Although they are winning games, 7-3. Both teams 7-3. And Dallas against the spread at home, just 11-11. So if you've been laying points with them, not necessarily the greatest spot. Hasn't necessarily been making money, although they do only have 4 losses. I think you fade Milwaukee in this spot. I'll just be honest with you guys. I think, when I talk about Milwaukee, I always talk about them. I know typically you don't want to lay points with them. I'm cool with laying the points with Dallas in this spot. I think this is probably my favorite spread on the board. I think Dallas wins the game. I think, you put Aaron Gordon and Christian Watson on and kind of build some kind of a wall against Giannis. Denver is an excellent 3-point defensive team as well. So I do think that Denver is the right side in this game. Just I didn't really look into any of the trends. I just saw, Denver second game back home after beating Philly. And they had to battle in that game as well. They do got a game against OKC, but they do get a day of rest in between. And then Milwaukee doesn't have a look ahead spot. They play Portland in the next game. So could be a potential look ahead spot for Dame. Maybe Dame doesn't go crazy because he reserves some energy for that next game, first game back in Portland. But I can't bet against Denver at the crib, not especially against a Bucks team that they still haven't proven anything to me on the defensive end. So slow pace game. As far as the total, I do agree with the movement, with the line coming down, the total coming down. Denver plays at such a snail's pace, man. I mean, if you just go through and look at their home games, that game against Philly the other day, I think it was like 65-65 at the end of the first quarter. I mean, at halftime, 65-62. The total was all the way up to like 130, 140. And I'm 230, 235, 240. And that game still went under the 225, which is what it closed at, because you see them like limit the Philadelphia 76ers to like almost single digit points in the fourth quarter. So I do agree with the total coming down. This is also another total that I probably end up getting there with. Put a little bit, not a lot, but put a little half unit play on the full game under the 239. Probably the best look. Also like Denver on the spread. Those are my thoughts in this game. And Jamal Murray should absolutely have a field day. I forgot to mention that, but I think it's worth noting. Jamal Murray should absolutely have a field day in this game. Vaughn says Conley got ruled out officially. Oh, did he get ruled out officially? Yeah, Conley got ruled out officially. I'm gonna take the under. 225, I think, is what I see it at. I think their offense is really gonna struggle now. I think it's really gonna struggle. 225 and a half on BetMGM minus 115 is what I'm going to lock in. I'm actually going to do that right now on the show before the number drops too much. If you guys want to ride with me there, I also need to get this out to the members as well. So excuse me for the dead air time. But I do like this a lot more with Mike Conley not being there. Under 225 and a half is what I'm taking in the Minnesota Timberwolves as the total continues to drop. Under 225 and a half. One second. Under 225 and a half. So, never mind. All right. Under 225 and a half is in and played. All right. So I did bet the under 225 and a half. And now I just need to give me 1 second while I send this out real quick. I think 225 and a half is the best number that I saw available. A lot of books already got it down to 225. But I did play the under in that game. I'm just gonna send this to the YouTube members real quick. Let's see. And if you're watching live and you're a YouTube member, boom, even better. Minnesota OKC under 225 and a half. Minus 115. BetMGM. All right, cool. Sent. All right, cool. All right, what else we got? Denver though. Denver 30 and 5 at home. Last 35. That's a fact. That is a fact. Let's see. Euphoria says the Bucks win. The NBA's rigged. He's just saying. Jabari says he took Giannis over his rebound. Should be guarding Aaron Gordon and near the rim. That makes a lot of sense. JS says Bucks 3 and 7. ATS last 14. I agree there. What else we got? You boys say you like the channel because we get breaking news. I actually hate that we get breaking news because I like to put the bets in a little bit quicker. Last game on the board for today. Then we'll get up a couple people. We've been on here for an hour and 12 minutes, man. Hit the like button for me if you guys are still watching, if you guys haven't already. So last game on the board, we got the 76ers and the Blazers. So I talked a little bit about when I was breaking down the Timberwolves and the Thunder game. I talked about the Thunder not being necessarily the greatest spot. The Blazers are also in that same exact spot, right? So for the Blazers, this is a third game. I'm sorry, this is a fifth game in 7 nights for the Blazers as well. You got two teams in that really bad fatigue spot. And I know the Blazers did rest a couple guys in that last game, so maybe it doesn't impact as much. But like I said, the Blazers, fifth game in 7 nights. They did lose last night to the Bulls. Looked like they were going to cover that game, and then they just couldn't make a shot late, which doesn't surprise me any because when you're taking points with the Blazers and any of these teams that rank like bottom 5 offensively, their offense literally can get turned off and not be able to score for like 3 or 4 minutes. And that's what we saw. We see Chicago Bulls really come in there and really lock them up. Now, the 76ers, we're still not sure who's going to play in this game. And it's one of the reasons why I couldn't play this game until I know for sure. But Joel Embiid did get ruled out already. The other thing I want to mention, and this kind of burned me last week, is that the Portland Trailblazers are the best. We always talk about OKC being a young team on the second leg of a back-to-back. The Portland Trailblazers is the best ATS team in the league on the second leg of a back-to-back. I'm not even sure what the record is, but I took them. I told you guys, and they weren't supposed to win, but they beat the Houston Rockets after the game against OKC. So that's one of the reasons why I really like OKC. I'm not sure what happened to Twitter. It must have just went down. But I'll keep talking on here. So Joel Embiid already listed out. Tobias Harris and Maxey both listed as questionable right now. Not sure if those guys are going to play. On the opposite side, Portland don't look like they're taking this game serious either. They got Brogdon listed as questionable. And for me, that's enough. I'm not touching Portland if they don't got Brogdon because they need a secondary ball handler, outside of Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons and Scoot Henderson can't make up your backcourt, in my estimation, if you're going to, win a game. So 10 is a big number. But you are at the rest disadvantage. Like I said, they have covered better than any other team on the second leg of a back-to-back so far has the Portland Trailblazers. I'm not sure what to do with this game without the status of Maxey and Tobias Harris. So I'll pass on the game. As far as the total goes, I would lean towards – I don't have a strong look. I'll stay off the total. 221 sounds about right. Portland doesn't score the ball much. And like I said, you kind of need those guys to make a determination of, whether you want the game to go over or under. So I'll stay off the total in this one and stay off the side as well. Not a game that I'm really interested in betting. Let's see what you guys are on here. Let's see. For some reason all my comments left. No comments. Let's see. Aiden's hates the NBA. Vaughn says that Maxey is out. I'll take Patrick Beverly assist. Yeah, Patrick Beverly did. What do you have a double-double in that last game, I think? Josh said, no disrespect, but the Blazers are never in a good spot. Yeah, I didn't say the Blazers are in a good spot. I did not say that. I said that they cover on the second leg of back-to-back games. But at this rest disadvantage against this Philly team, Philly hasn't been necessarily great, but they probably want to get that bad taste out of their mouth because they have lost a couple games in a row. So I could definitely see they lost the game against Indy, got smacked up in that spot. So pretty sure Coach Nick Nurse will have those guys fired up for that as well. Euphoria says OKC, Dallas, Cleveland, in the Utah Jazz on the money line, plus 900 almost. Hey, best of luck, Euphoria. Hopefully it's just a little sprinkle there. Bond like B-ball Paul rebounds. Paul Reed, since Embiid is out, I could not talk you off of that. And I'm not sure what happened on Twitter. DBB, I have no idea what happened. Mr. Nice Guy said Jabari Smith is available. I like Houston. I do like Houston tonight, man. Probably not gonna get there and bet them. Let me give you guys all the top looks that I would play tonight though, because I did write these down. Just so, and the only thing I played was what I just told you guys and what I just sent out to the members. But these are the top looks for today for myself. Let me get back to my notes section real quick. So whatever that Charlotte team total is, it's probably been dropped to like 103, 104 now. Probably wouldn't get there with that, but I had the team total under 107.5, under 108.5 last night, actually written down. Clippers and the Cleveland Cavaliers under 226 is what I have written down. OKC and Memphis under 224. And I know it's a lot of unders. There's 3 unders that I told you guys, and I don't necessarily like playing unders, but I'm counting on both teams or either one specific team in those spots. These are the looks in the game. So if I'm playing that Clippers game versus the Cavs, I am taking the Clippers. I think Evan Mobley comes back, throws them off a lot. So Clippers on the money line. Houston, I think they were plus 1.5 on ESPN Bet. And if you like Houston, wait till the last minute to see if LeBron James and Anthony Davis get rolled in. They probably will play, and then you can take Houston and get a better number. Washington, I think plus 4 is too many points. I'll be taking the points with Washington in a game that they could win outright, especially a revenge game. And I talked about Kyle Kuzma, having a narrative around that. And then Denver, minus the 3.5. I think you can get on Bet MGM minus 115. I'll be looking at Denver, and then Utah. I like Utah as well. I actually saw Utah plus 1.5 yesterday. So those are the top looks on the board for myself. I'll probably add 2 plays, honestly. I'm not going too crazy today. Just don't, even though it's a lot of games, I don't like the slate, man. Bet responsibly. Remember what I said at the beginning of the show. These players are just like regular human beings, man. They can't wait for the All-Star break, 2 weeks left before vacation. They really, really can't wait, man. So whatever you guys play, best of luck, man. I appreciate everybody for tapping in and riding with me throughout the show. I hope you guys cash your bets. We will be back tomorrow. Breaking down, I think it's like a 5 or 6 card. Hopefully we can find a couple spots on that card. But I hope you guys cash your tickets today, man. And best of luck on all your action. I'm out.